Greetings, Chiefs. Happy Friday to you. Time for another electric Chief Chat. And I'm playing with camera angles here. And as you can see, the one I've chosen is not working. So I guess I will have to go. That's a good question, Bruce. How does one sit tight? I guess I can picture that. And I can imagine a couple of scenarios where I've actually been required to sit tight. But probably not exactly what we intended for this chat. So let me switch cameras here so I can greet you guys appropriately. There we go. Cool. So nice to be here with all of you guys, and another great Friday, and lots of cool stuff to cover. Hope you guys are doing good. Go ahead and say hello. Good to see you, Wendy. Patty, how are you? Bruce, what's up? Marcelo, how you doing, Marcelo? Good to see you, man. And John, what's up? My man, John Belkowicz. Hopefully you guys saw the video of John and Taylor and I tooling around Delray last week at the AWAI conference. This was about a week ago today, wasn't it? And had a great time and made a fun video talking about some of our takeaways from the event. And thanks also to my the Chiefs who got on a call with Ross and I yesterday to sort of follow up on takeaways from the Fast Wins copy course launch. A lot of existing Chiefs and new members went through that course, and we spoke to some of those members, and we spoke to some of the Chiefs who stepped up and supported all the participants as coaches, which is, was really special to see and helpful. And I really wanted to understand their motivation, what they got from it, and how we could improve the process for everybody involved. So we're, yeah, butter makes everything better. Hey, Ron, what's happening? Steven, good to see you. We're behind the scenes now, deciding some, the better approaches for the course. The feedback was tremendous. Everybody really likes the course, but we definitely have some big takeaways about how it's structured that I think can be improved. So we're excited to implement those things and begin testing that. And so you're going to see the course relaunch next year in a much bigger way, and I think a better, more effectively structured way, and a more interactive way for sure. So, so thanks for everybody for contributing on that level. We're just at the foothills of what we're going to accomplish here in Copy Chief, and it's really exciting to be with all you guys making it happen. Huge opportunities here for anyone who's so inclined to be as involved as you want to be. So another thing that's on my mind is this morning, I had one of my longest, I think, posts ever here in Copy Chief, responding to Russell. Let's see if Russell's on the call by chance. Doesn't look like it. But Russell had a thread this week about the copywriting model and the freelancer model, and thought his points were really right dead on from what I'm hearing from a lot of other business owners who need copywriters, and just the old model is broken as far as you agree to a fee, which is very often an uncomfortable fee for the business owner, for the client, because there's just a standard sort of no guarantee on whether the work converts or not, which is perfectly understandable for reasons we won't bother diving into here as the copywriter. But the solution to it is to partner up and do things more long term. So the smart companies are, they're building teams of copywriters. They realize you need more than just one copywriter, and you need an ongoing relationship, not just a one-time, let me pay you a fair amount of money and hope it works type of scenario. So So it's exciting to work behind the scenes with a lot of these company owners like, Ramit Sethi. We've talked a lot about the work I've done with Ramit in how the Chiefs have contributed to helping Ramit develop his copywriting team. One of our Chiefs, Brian, has been working with Ramit for, I bet I'm probably not a year now, but at least a good 6-7 months. They're constantly looking for copywriters. They have a huge need for copy that they'll never stop having. It only will increase. Also, there's a couple of threads in the job alerts that you guys definitely need to check out, whether you're a business owner or a copywriter, and see how I'm working with these business owners to understand the need and just search for ways to solve the issue. Like how they want to hire freelancers and they want to respect that freelancers want to be independent, but they also need ongoing work beyond just a retainer. And look, I'm in a lot of these models myself with clients. There's things about it that work and there's things that are limiting. So there is no one size fits all solution. It's really company centric and need centric. But I think the more we engage in the dialogue and say, here's what I need as a writer to be incentivized to be a part of your journey here, and the business owner saying, here's what I can reasonably offer you to keep you engaged and excited and contributing, then that's how we win. Yeah, thank you, Patty. This is the Nobody Writes Alone, the official Copy Chief t-shirt. These were sent last week to all the founding members of Copy Chief, the folks who signed up with me back in August 2014 and have stayed with me for an entire year. I think the only way to get this particular shirt will be to earn them. There are more people on the list that are very deserving of these shirts that I'll be sending them out to. You know me, I don't like to be real strict in how I structure things, like say, if you do, X many posts or do all these things, but anyone who's earned the label like a, super member or, that kind of thing has contributed greatly to the community, then I think that deserves to be sporting one of these t-shirts. So yeah, so that's what's going on with these shirts, and they're cool, super high quality American apparel. Don't you hate you go to a concert or something and you buy this badass looking shirt and you wash it once and it's worthless, right? It's like really stiff and rigid and it's just no fun to wear, right? So I was, I'm always looking for quality t-shirts. Material is everything in a t-shirt. So that's the deal. Okay, Colleen, you good? Wendy, Android, how do I do that? Okay, cool. So hopefully you guys are getting that worked out. There's always some tech things. But let's take a look real quick at some threads here. Any questions you guys have, of course, jump in. Marcelo, I'd love to hear your experience and how you're getting around the boards and everything. Ron, anything on your mind? Steven, John, any of you guys, just dive in, and doesn't have to be like a hard question or like a serious deep dive question. Just let's chat about what's happening in the business and inside a Copy Chief. Yeah, Steven, trust needs to be on both. Exactly right. Yeah, when it comes to copywriters teaming up with companies, trust is everything, isn't it? Okay, Patty, cool. You posted for feedback. I want to know what the right process is. So let's get to that in just a minute. I'm going to dive over to the screen share real quick, and let's look at Russell's thread real quick, just to finish off some thoughts on this whole emerging idea of companies and copywriters working together in a more, steadier basis. So Russell's thread is, the copywriter model is dead. Long live the copywriter. Really good. Yeah. And then, so John, and John commented here, And this is something that you'll see in that video if you watch it. John and I in the car, kind of talking about some of the takeaways, and John brought up a really good point. And this was made by Mike Palmer, who is, a guy who expressed from the stage his great need to develop freelance copywriters and team copywriters, and how difficult it is. It's just like, this is the special thing we do. And it takes time to develop, and we're always developing and learning. And there's just not, this pool of writers out there sitting around with a ton of talent that aren't in demand. I might talk to writers all the time and freelancers, and helping coach them on how to grow their businesses. And every once in a while, I will encounter a freelance copywriter who has a lot of skill and for whatever reason just hasn't hit escape velocity and isn't in demand, but it's rare. The word gets out really fast. If you're doing good work for your clients, like honestly, that alone can keep you pretty busy. And then it's about, having backup to make sure you're doing good work, always developing, not getting overwhelmed, and just sort of handling your workload. But it's a pretty self-perpetuating model if you just want to, get gigs and be talking to prospects as a copywriter. There's no reason, if you're good and you're reliable and you're constantly developing as not just a copywriter, but a marketer, that you shouldn't be in high demand. And so was kind of the big punchline to this whole thing, is that what I was telling Russell is, congrats to you for looking to solve this problem of building a copy team, because everything's changing, man. And, the way I put it was, tackling these issues is more important than we fully realize right now. Seismic shifts are underway, just mobile for one. And the only consistency in direct response marketing over the next few years will be change. Any company without a team in place to react and adapt will be at serious risk of drowning in the tsunami. Copywriters are not just writers anymore. They are marketing experts with copy as their specialty. A full view of the landscape is essential. And so that means that the best will be in demand more than ever. And I think before long, the days of just going, hey, I need to get a copywriter, I'll ask around and see who's available, and finding somebody who truly understands what you're up to and how it all works, and how all the pieces of the puzzle work together, is going to be rare. And you see companies like Ramit and Derek Halpern and John Bowen, who I did a video with, and Will out of Australia. They really understand how badly they need copywriters, and they need to incentivize copywriters to give up a healthy part of their calendar, if not a full-time swath of their calendar, over to them and pay accordingly, because it's just too valuable to risk having to go out and find a writer when you've got products to launch and offers that need optimizing, and changes in the market that need to be adapted to, like mobile and mobile traffic, and all the changes in the way people are using video, and display ad criteria. It's constantly changing on Google and Facebook, and just all these things need to be adapted to and studied and at the forefront of it. If you have a team of marketers and copywriters working together so that everybody's on the same page and everybody's on top of the technology and the regulations, then you can be agile to adapt to these changes. But otherwise, man, you could really find yourself in serious trouble as a business owner, and all the revenue streams that you relied on just become subject to change that you didn't anticipate or foresee, and you can honestly just get left behind, really left in the dark. So so that's critical. Yeah, Stephen. So give us an example of how you might structure a business deal. Give me more detail there, Steve. What do you mean a business deal? And tell me, which Stephen am I talking to? See who else is here. Joe, what's up, Joe? Wendy. Is that Steve Adair, or which Stephen am I talking to here? I know there's a slight delay. Okay, Wendy, sorry you couldn't used up all your 3G quota. Okay, all good. Um, so Steve, yeah, happy to come back around. Tell me what you mean by business deal. Are you talking from the copywriter end or from the business owner end? And then let me jump over to Patty's question here. Always good to see you here, Patty. I think we have an interview coming up, don't we? Did we schedule that? You and your partner on the podcast. I'm excited to do that with you. Let me open another page here in Copy Chief and get your post up, Patty. Let's see. Are you in here? I don't see it. I didn't see a new post in the Chief Chat thread, so maybe you want to cut and paste your post into here so I can get to it quicker. I don't see you in the feedback thread. Hey, Wardy, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, we started out talking about the whole relationship between business owners and copywriters, and how it's more critical than ever that copywriters are also marketing experts and really understand changes in the market. And I'm sure you have a lot to add to that conversation. In fact, I mentioned you in the thread I just posted, replying to Russell about how the old model just isn't working for him, and changes we're all seeing in ways we're trying to accommodate both parties. So, okay, Patty, you're in the 4x6 section. Let's see. Let me go there. Fast wins 4x6. Posted on 10/8. Let's see, number 28. There you are. Any feedback, submission? Okay, cool. All right. Inspired by your work, I'm submitting my 4x6 draft. Thank you in advance. Essential fact number 1. What is it? Create Buzz is an online community that helps small business owners learn the latest and cutting edge online and offline marketing strategies so that they can rock out their customer experience efforts and create uncommonly awesome results, which leads to more sales. Okay. That's probably more words than we need to describe that. And again, I know you're not just like really writing copy here, but the point of getting it so dialed in is that we want to only use exactly as many words as we need to make it impactful, right? So it's called Create Buzz. Great. It's an online community. Great. That's important. Helps small businesses. So rather than learn, keep in mind that people mostly don't want to learn. They want to focus on the result, and learning is not a result. It's the process. So what does it help small businesses achieve? Latest and cutting edge online and offline marketing strategies. Yeah. So that's a vague thing, right? Learn the latest and cutting edge online and offline marketing strategies could just mean anything to me. That's where you're getting a little vague, so that they can rock out their customer experience efforts, also vague, and create uncommonly awesome results, also vague, which leads to more sales. So don't get caught up, Patty, in language that isn't specific, right? So the key to these, and I love that you write with energy, and I can feel your personality in even a short piece of copy like this. So I love that. But the next level of that for you is to look at every word and say, is this word, is this, part of the sentence revealing something more about what we're doing? And if so, how else could I say it so it's like, so unique that don't want people to go, okay, I guess I get that, or I guess I need that. You want them to go, oh, wow, that's awesome, right? And so when I read this, my brain can't allow me to have that response because there's too much going on. And this is one really long sentence, and something we I preach a lot, and I'll preach it again because it can't be said enough and it can't be practiced enough. And it's so on the forefront of my mind is because I was just reschooled in it recently on a piece of copy, and I've been in this for 10 years. And that's the idea, is that one concept per sentence. And so we've got a whole lot of concepts in this one sentence right here. Create buzz. One thing is an online community. That's 2. Help small business. That's 3. Learn the latest. That's 4. And cutting edge online. So every time a new concept, even though it's like seems like a minor detail, my brain has to, the reader's brain has to accept, understand, and put into context that concept. So, and our eyes are moving forward, and or if we're watching a VSL, the message keeps on rolling, but our brains are still going, now hang on a second, I'm trying to assess what cutting edge means, because that means something to me that could be completely different than it meant to the person who's writing this to me. So how do I know if I'm on page with them when it comes to cutting edge? What does that even mean, right? So when you put any sort of vague language into your messaging, and you're introducing a lot of concepts, and several of them aren't amazingly specific, so that there's like no way to misconstrue what's being said here, or no way to be subjective about how it's received, then you're going to be moving at a different pace than your reader's brain will allow. Does that make sense? And so, we could spend the rest of our lives honing, short, concise, abundantly clear phraseology. And that's, I think, one of our biggest jobs as marketers, certainly as copywriters, is clarity, 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 100% of the time. So you start out awesome here, and then you lose me right at the word learn. You're totally on point with Create Buzz. It's an online community that helps small business owners. And then that's all I can handle for that sentence. Helps, built, built to help small business owners, or built to help small businesses succeed, period. Right? So that's okay, great. Got that concept. Now I want to know, how do you do that? So that's the next sentence. We do this by, and then it's not about learning. It's about, what am I getting? Is it tools? Is it education? Is it training? What is it that I'm learning here? Cutting edge online and offline marketing strategies. And then, so is this really about customer experience, right? Is this a UX thing? Or is this, what is the actual problem you're solving with this? Because it feels like you're wanting it to be a lot of things. Like, kind of like, if you just want your customers to have a better experience, then we got it all for you, right? But I don't even get to that until 20 or 30 words into this sentence. So my challenge to you would be, and again, we're only on essential fact number 1, the reason I'm stopping here is because it's got to be 100% clear to me. Like, essential fact number 1, what is it? That's where we have to be more clear than anywhere else, because if my brain doesn't go, oh, cool, wow, that sounds awesome, I could definitely use that, I'm done right there. Like, I won't even get to who you are, because I've not yet accepted that this is something I need. Is that helpful? Okay, cool. Colin, curious about the most skeptical person's thing. Yes. Yeah, Colin, good point. Right. That's the thing, man. And just that thing of when people land on your website, and I always call it the index finger of death, hovering just not even an inch above that mouse. This is how we all surf the web, and they're not looking for you to succeed. They're looking for you to fail so that they can move on, because everybody's busy and distracted, and they somehow were compelled to come check out your site. But if they don't immediately go, oh, wow, oh, cool, I need that, let me learn more. Who's this giving you this? Oh, Patty Dominguez, love her. She's from that podcast. Awesome. Okay, cool. And you keep getting them to buy in more. They're gone, man. They drop that index finger of death, click away, and happily leave you to go improve your messaging. So, yeah, Colin, I love that. Yeah, Colin has an avatar for his skeptical reader, Mrs. McAfee. That's great. My evil grade 4 teacher. Hilarious. Okay. Yeah, sure, Patty. Let's do that. Let me get you on here. That'd be fantastic. All right. Boom. It's my favorite part of the chats. We get some live interaction. Hello, there you are. Hey, girl.
Hello. Thank you so much for including me on this. I'll be pretty brief.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So I really appreciate the feedback on this. And I guess I'm stuck at the point where it seems because of the timeline that we have on the project, and obviously it's not clear, I'm not a copywriter by any means. So I joined with the intention of learning just some skills. But I mean, this is definitely, there's an art and a science to it. So I guess at what point is there enough information for me to post a job? And like, how do you do that? I guess the question, and hopefully this is serving other people that are watching this, is at what point do you kind of throw in the towel and say, I think I need some professional help, because I hear your feedback, but it's just not synthesizing in my head of like, okay, now how do I take what you said and apply it to something constructive and actionable?
Yeah, that is helpful. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I guess well, let me ask you this. I'm just curious. When you say when is the point to throw in the towel, right?
Maybe I should have said it that way.
No. I think it's perfect. It's a very real way to say it. But I'm curious, like, what flashes in your mind when you go, I'm not ready to go hire a writer yet? Is it like budget? You're just not sure what to pay, or if you can afford to get good help, or is it like B, if I don't have the message developed enough to hand off to a copywriter, it's not fair to expect them to kick ass for me? Like, where's the hangups?
Well, to be honest, I never really thought of like taking any of this and be like, oh, I'm going to hire a copywriter. Again, with no experience in understanding the power of copywriting, I assumed, I'm like, oh, I'll just put it together. I'm a fairly educated person. I can figure this out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so really just realizing, I'm like, holy crap, I'm so not at the level that is required, because I don't want to launch this product and then have people not understand, miss, or as Colin said, I think it was Colin that said in there, like, who cares? So what next? Like, I mean, that's a really big deal.
It is, yeah.
So, and then in terms of the investment, to me, it's so elastic because I don't know what is fair in terms of what we need, right? Your price point is different than someone else that's newer. I'm totally
yeah. And you know what? I faced this problem with Copy Chief when I knew I needed help, and my problem was I didn't know what the help was worth to me yet, because I hadn't like run a campaign and said, oh, okay, well, I know it'll with the right help, if we can improve conversions by 1%, it'd mean X to my business, and I'm happy to pay that to somebody to get me there.
Exactly.
I didn't have that metric yet, right? So I totally get it. And but then the problem is people like find some budget, they pull from air, or they ask around, what should it cost? And it's just not relative, So
exactly.
I think and this is why I love what we have in this community, is the ability to post up very specific, problems and questions for feedback, let the writers weigh in, assume that they're available to at least have a conversation about what it would cost to hire them, and then just have a dialogue and figure out if it makes sense,
Right. And then Kevin, how does it work? I hope I'm not derailing the conversation, because I think this is just stuff I've been really curious about, is do you post it and then people get kind of a flavor for, oh, you know what, I could work on Patty's project because I understand her brand or what it is that she wants to convey. Or, I mean, that's the part that's also confusing.
Well, I look at it like this for the business owner is that you're sort of baiting your hook when you post up copy and ask for feedback. And that's why it's really important to be clear and try. I always say to people, try not to link. The worst thing is they get a link to a Dropbox file and then you got to link to that and open that and download it and read it and all that stuff, right? Or even a link into an existing page is okay. But ultimately you post up a section of copy and say, I know that this is a little broken or it certainly could be better, but I can't put my finger on it, and let people weigh in on that because they're much more apt to react to that because it's right there in front of them. Everybody can see it. We're all part of the same show right there, right? So they're properly incentivized to react. And then it's, so for you, it's about like seeing the feedback and just, you know, having a gut check on how you're receiving the feedback. Like somebody weighs in and you got like, you know, I get what you're saying, but we actually tried that two versions ago and that didn't work at all. So you might kind of move on to the next person and they go, oh, wow, they clearly explain where they're coming from and they give you some cool advice. And you've probably seen, like, sometimes writers will even come in and go, hey, I was just inspired to rewrite this real quick for you. And here's kind of what I would do. That's the situation. And if you're like blown away by what they wrote, that's just a natural. You're going, man, like, what if I could get this person to write my whole letter? They obviously get it. They've already invested time to understand where I'm at and what this project's about. And then you're off and running, right? So that's kind of the process. And it's just about dialogue after that, knowing you're not committing to anything by inquiring about whether they're available and what it would cost, you know?
Okay. All right. That's helpful because, yeah, I mean, just posting it up there, I'm like, I just wasn't sure. And that's why I was like, man, I haven't gotten any feedback. I'm like, man, it really sucks. And then you got on there, I'm like, okay, it's a disaster. Maybe I require professional help. I mean, I came on here no makeup. That's how I want you to know how serious I am.
And you look beautiful.
Thank you. You're very kind.
And this is, you know what, I can't tell you how helpful this is because this has been the theme of the week for me is like, of course they need better instruction, you know, like the calls about the fast wins and stuff were like some of the things to me that, and even my staff can feel so obvious because we say them all the time, or we're having individual conversations with people to instruct them on how to do stuff. And I realize there's nowhere that we're guiding people to get that information. I've totally failed on helping people understand how this process works, right? So that's why this is super helpful. And I appreciate you coming on and just being real and saying, this is what I need to understand.
Awesome. So then just to kind of, to wrap it up, so I'm not like monopolizing the time, that I could just take my project, post it into in the job section.
Yeah, I would do that. And so right now there's no copy, right? Because you're in 4x6 stage, which means you're outlining, right?
Right, I'm 4x6. And so I would assume that now is the good time. And I can even post a video explaining the gist of what it is that we're creating. So that gives some direction. Yeah,
I'm all about videos right now because I just think then it just brings so much more to light. And you go, because I think copywriters read between the lines and they're like qualifying or disqualifying themselves, you know. And I'd rather them hear straight from you. Go, here's the deal. I've never hired a copywriter before, but I know the value of it. I'm an active member in here. I know that we need guidance. And I would also, I would link people to your 4x6 here. And say, because, you know, I'm attacking you on the first part of it, looking at it from a copywriter's perspective, because again, the clarity is crucial. But I'm looking at a lot of it is pretty clear and it's complete. So any writer can come in and look at this 4x6 and know exactly what the appeal of the product is, and then know the questions to ask you to get down to the nitty gritty. And at least they know the offer, who you are, where you're coming from, that kind of, that stuff's crucial.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. And I still haven't figured out exactly how to let you politely.
Yeah. Do I like drop out?
See what happens if you do that.
Let me see.
Because I keep ejecting people from the
That's okay.
Chat.
All right, I'm going to leave the con in case I'll just come back in. Thanks again, Kevin.
All right, I'm going to just like hide from broadcast, so I don't think you'll feel obligated to like.
All right. Hey guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, Patty. I appreciate it. Okay, cool. Awesome. So that's so helpful. I love having these conversations. Super valuable. Um, so Colleen, yeah, Patty, there's an intermediate point. Some people get copy coaching instead of throwing in the towel. Yeah, that might be the thing. It's like, Patty, wouldn't surprise me if you are qualified to write your own copy and just had some guidance from a more experienced writer. That can be a more affordable option. And yeah, so okay, cool. Looks like I'm caught up on the comments. Yeah, this is the thing. It's really interesting to me that I mentioned in that post to Russell. I did not expect to sort of become the wear this moniker as a guy who can solve your ongoing copy need problem. I certainly embrace it, and I think it's a great challenge for us all to take on, because, like I said, it's never going to become more important than right now, with all the changes coming down the line. And to be able to talk to Patty and people like this and have them go, what do you do? Like, it's not enough, I guess, just to build a community and go, everybody go play together and everything will happen organically. There's so much apprehension we all naturally have, understandably have, to reaching out, or, like Patty's so polite, like, I don't want to you do this wrong, or none of us want to feel like we look stupid, or and so yeah, man, I really get that it's my job and our team's job to make this process so smooth and easy for everybody. So I welcome all of your feedback on how we can always be improving this process of us all feeling safe and making it really easy and clear on how to present your needs. Like Patty said, decide when is it time to go, man, we need help. We need to invest in somebody. And what are we looking for? Who's that person? What skills should they have? Do I need what Kathy's saying, someone just to oversee us? Or are we better off just handing this off to someone and trusting them? And all that comes with friction and apprehension. So I totally get it, and love that we're having this discussion so we can solve this. So Cesari's asking, how can I find out more about the sequence of emotions to make a sale? Science, anything more specific than AIDA? And AIDA being, attention, interest, desire, action. Wow, Cesari, it's a good question, because that is a rabbit hole waiting to happen, and it may be, like, I don't know off top of my head one single source, but because here are the rabbit holes that immediately come to mind that you'll climb down, and all of them completely valid and may be what it takes for you to come up with your own answer. But we're going to be looking at persuasion. So you definitely need to get hip with Cialdini if you're not. His book Influence, I'm sure you've probably read that. There's other more recent books that specifically study the neuroscience behind why people choose to buy, and the emotions they feel in the process they go through to decide whether to buy or not. Brainfluence is a good one. I think The Buyer's Brain is another one. Both good books on what, a lot of research dictates what people, or reveals what people go through. So if anybody else has a book recommendation or a source specific about the emotions people encounter, I will tell you this, Cesari. Melanie Saladino, one of my superstar freelance coaching students, members, is working on a stunningly good report, and I'll just keep mounting the pressure on her over this, about this very topic. And it's about the emotions, and it's about the organic, that's the word of the day, isn't it? Organic objections that buyers have when they come into your sales process. And what I love about this report is that she identifies sort of the 9, avatar profiles, the 9 buyer types. And it's really powerful because one of those types is you. And we have a tendency, not only as marketers, but even as writers, to view the whole landscape of the pitch through the objections we would naturally have, right? And we love to say, oh, I know I'm not the market and all that, but I think it's impossible unless you have all the buyer profiles laid out in front of you to understand where you fit on that scale, and the fact, acknowledge that there's like 8 other personality types and profiles that are going to have very different objections and very different triggers for feeling okay to go ahead with the purchase. Very soon, Melanie will have this report ready for us, and we'll present it together. And I can't wait, because I just know it's going to become a staple training in Copy Chief, and something we all reference and continue developing together. It's a huge topic that I don't think has been summarized and taught in such a way that Melanie's come up with. So incentivize is the other word of the day. Yeah, we should have a drinking game, coffee drinking game. A shot of espresso every time Kevin says organically or incentivize this week. What do you got, John? John's got a book here. Haven't read it, but I have it on my desk. Let's see what you got going here. Ah, wow. Meet your happy chemicals. Interesting. Dopamine, endorphin, oxytocin, serotonin. You can feel good more often by stimulating the brain chemicals that cause happiness. This book show. Wow. Oh, look at that. So I guess the take here is that if we can understand how, did I say Oxycontin? Oxytocin. If we understand what triggers these chemicals, obviously we can incorporate that into our copy and our marketing, so that we're making sure we're getting the good chemicals firing in our messaging. Wow, super cool. Great share, John. Definitely be checking that out. Awesome. Cool. All right. Anybody else want to jump on or have a specific question or anything else I can help with? I like to keep these within an hour if possible. Always good. So much gold in here. I should start transcribing these, shouldn't I, to make them more ingestible for people who just don't have the patience for video. I know there's times that I don't. Yeah, I can't wait for Melanie. I know. I'm so on Melanie but she's busy, she's got so much client work, and yeah, I know. I'm like pressuring her as much as I can to get it done so we can present it. It's going to be awesome. Perry Belcher recommends the book. Okay, cool. So John, what does Perry say about the book? Is it kind of what I said about once we understand what triggers the right chemicals to release in the human brain, that we then have some control over that in our messaging? Is that the deal? Yeah, just going through the comments here to make sure we got everything. Yeah, Stephen agreed. Yeah, it's just about, it starts with wanting to, right? Like for business owners, and say, we embrace the idea of bringing in copywriters to our world and compensating them for increasing our sales. It's just smart business. I'm amazed. I was at AWAI last week, and hanging with these legendary copywriters, and to hear some of their stories and the befuddling tales of major publishers waking up one day with their greed gland secreting floods of chemical, and them deciding, what? We're not paying commissions, or not paying royalties anymore to our copywriters, and having all the copywriters go, okay, then good luck, and then moving on. Just don't get it. Brian Kurtz talks about being thrilled to send huge $1 million checks to copywriters, because that means that they're earning millions of dollars. I mean, Gary Bencivenga should have been earning more money than him and Marty Edelson, because it was his copy that was making everybody so much money. And so, I get that you have to build up to that sometimes, But this whole scarcity mindset of, it's up to us copywriters too to help people understand that we're not vendors, man. We're experts, and we gotta tout the results we get for our clients and help people understand that by investing, by vetting, by helping to develop the right copywriters, sky's the limit. But until you do that, you're going to be the victim of your own devices. And that's why Patty's so smart to say, I get it, I need help, and how do I go about it? Oh, interesting. Okay, so John's saying that book, Perry Belcher uses it to sort of pace out the funnel. Very interesting. Cool. Okay, cool. All right. So the book is Meet Your Happy Chemicals, dopamine, endorphin, oxytocin, serotonin. Boy, I got to read this right away. Yeah, we should book club that book, John. That would be cool. I think I got to find out from Marcin what happened to the Chief Read section. We had a book club section. Got to get that rolling again. So awesome. Great chat, guys. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the threads. If you have any questions as the week goes on that you want to cover on the chat, post it up in the Chief Chat thread. I'll always check those first. And great to be back with you. And I will see you guys next week. Much love. Bye.